We're live. We're live. Welcome, welcome. This is Lamborghini C. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys for joining me. Getting set up to make sure you guys can hear me okay. And I think we're all good. I think we're all good. Some people will catch the replay, and that is quite all right. But I wanted to go live and do my first live stream on YouTube. First of all, I have to say thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone that actually subscribed to the channel so that I could get enough subscribers so that I could be able to go live. This has been really exciting. I'm really enjoying having the channel up. And I hope to do more live streams. I'll definitely be doing more uploads. I have some things in the queue ready to go to upload in the next, I would say probably, week or so. So I am so excited for all of that. But my goodness, like 2023, this is day 5 of 2023. And when I tell you guys, oh my goodness, I cannot even believe all of the things that have been happening externally. It's just been kind of crazy. I was talking to a friend the other day and I was just saying, it's like this new year was a little bit different. Sometimes you go into the new year and it just feels fresh and new for some reason. This one just hit different. When I tell you, it's like it just it almost kind of felt like a continuation to last year, which is really kind of crazy, right? And then when you think about like all of the different events that have been occurring, like the different losses that we've had, like on the larger scale in the public celebrity sector, that in and of itself has been kind of crazy to begin the year like that. And so I'm just like, I hope it's not a prelude to, what the rest of the year will be. But I know many of us have seen, or heard several different prophecies or predictions of what's to come in 2023. And, some of those prophetic words or predictions have, they haven't been the best. And so I think for me, one of the things that I've been reminded of this week, especially, is just a lot of the self-development work that I did like many years ago. It's like things have been coming back to me. I'm even starting to revisit some things that or books that I've read in the past. This week, I was just urged to, I don't know, for some reason, I just kind of had a pulling to revisit the book, The Code of the Extraordinary Mind by Vishen Lakhiani. I love the book. I actually have it in Audible, but this is actually a download. Like that book is so awesome. I can't say enough about it. It truly is life-changing. And he warns you, he kind of gives the disclaimer in the audio book that, hey, don't listen to this if you don't want your life to be changed, because it will be. Your consciousness will be risen, and that's what his specialty is. It's conscious engineering, which I think is so necessary for growth and for development and for people. Everyone talks about how they want to have this success or they want to have a certain level of wealth. Well, here's the real truth or the real tea to it. In order to have that level of growth and that abundance, your mindset has to shift. You have to be willing to grow and to expand your thinking and your thought process around things, and and what you deserve, and feeling comfortable in allowing yourself to have certain luxuries, allowing yourself to go after certain dreams, or even to put certain pressures on yourself. I can tell you, like the last couple weeks, um, probably toward mid-December, I actually embarked on something that is crazy. And again, folks that are really driven, sometimes you'll look at their lives and you're like, I don't know, how are they so successful? How were they able to do this or that? Because sometimes it takes being a little bit crazy, and it takes going against the norm and going against the grain, and also being willing to do what other people aren't willing to do. And a long time ago, I learned, I used to have a mentor that, would share the quote, hey, always remember when those times get tough, when you're having to, pull an all-nighter or work really hard and everyone else is looking at you and saying, wow, that's pretty crazy. Like, why are you doing all that? In order to have what other people don't have, you have to be willing to do what other people aren't willing to do. And that doesn't mean, doing salacious things or illegal things or what have you, but sometimes that level of commitment. Like I said, I embarked on something that it's going to provide an additional stream of income for me, but I had to get some licensing from the government, from the state, which required me to take an exam. And I did it at an accelerated rate, which was crazy. It really was. The level of like studying that I've been under like the last couple years. Now, mind you, it's been almost 20 years since I left grad school. I am not looking to go back into anyone's university or school. So I could not, once I got into, I was emotional. I thought, what have I got myself into? I even shed a couple tears, so I'm thankful for, my friends, my close people that I was able to vent to. But my goodness, going through that whole process, I just thought, wow. But as I was leading up to it, I just finished things this week. I just took the exam and I passed. Thank goodness. So I got that off my back. I kept being reminded that, you know what? It's all going to be worth it down the road. I'm going to look back at this time and have these memories and remember the work I put into it. As I begin to reap the rewards and the benefits, it will be worth it. So there's going to be times in your life that you have those same or similar experiences. And so it's so important that you elevate your consciousness and your mindset to be able to get yourself through them. Again, I think this year for a lot of folks, it will be hard for some people. I'm determined that, I know like spiritually I'm protected, and I know and understand the work that I put into myself, things that I need to do to protect my energy first and foremost, because when things aren't going so well for people, um, sometimes they want to pull on your energy, especially when it looks like, wow, things are always going well for them. Because let me tell you, I don't care if you're spiritual or not, but the exchange of energy is real. And people understand that. That's why when things aren't going so hot and they seem to be going good for you, you'll just step back and watch. They'll want to connect themselves with you, or you'll find that they're on your phone, they're texting you or trying to call you, but you haven't heard from them in a while. But maybe they've seen some stuff on social media, or they see that you're moving and shaking, and they got to get, on the ball and see just what's going on over there. Because you look too happy, you seem too unbothered. But honey, I'll tell you what, in 2023, I have a commitment and a fight to keep my peace, to keep my sanity, and to continue to grow and to continue to work toward my goals. And I will do that at all costs, even at the cost of some of those people. If I have to, again, sometimes you may have to lose some people as you're growing and elevating. Y'all know I love Nipsey Hussle, and one of the quotes he says is, hey, circle got smaller, everybody can go. And there's a lot of truth in that, as you're growing and elevating. So remember that. And don't let people make you feel bad or try to shun you because you do have to pull away. The other thing I realized too, and even again over the last couple weeks, it's been the holidays and I've had a lot going on. One of them has been creating this channel, but I've had some other things going on just with my business and growing that, redoing some rebranding and some revamping, and just making sure that it's a representation of my best self, of my best work, and something that I'm proud of. And I wrote a book. I finished a book, and that's out. You can go to edmond-enterprises.com and purchase the book, as well as some other useful business tips that I provide there. But I tell you what, I had to kind of, recluse, especially like during my study time, because I packed 40 hours worth of studying or training into about 2.5, 3 days. Then from that, I was doing these practice exams, you know, back to back to back, just to get myself ready to make sure I remembered, and was able to retain all of the information that I had been studying. So that meant like I couldn't just sit up on the phone, talking to folks. And just, in the reality again, like at this age and stage in my life, I realized like, and I'm just not even into playing the game. Sometimes folks just want to call you and they want to sit up on the phone and have you recite to them everything that's going on, in your life, right? Because they see little nuggets maybe on social media and they're thinking like, wow, she's really doing something. What's going on over there? But again, it's about prioritizing your time. And again, you don't have to cut people off completely. But my point was that like your true friends, that like my friends that I've known for years, and even some of the newer ones, like the ones that are really true and have their heart in the right places, they understand. Like they know, like, hey, if I'm kind of MIA, then I must be, they might tap in with me or hit me up on a text and just say, like, hey, are you good? Everything good? But they know, like, okay, she must be working on something, they know that it's not like a change in our relationship or what have you, or me acting funny. And those friends, especially as you get older in life, those are so valuable to have in your life. They're valuable to help ground you and to be able to be a true support. They're not needy. The friendship doesn't rely on you being up under them all the time. I've never been that type of person. Like when I was younger, I would watch like some girls, and sometimes I would wonder, how come I'm not like that? But like I never was the girl that had to be up under her friend girl at the house all the time or sitting up under them. And I can't make a move, like I gotta have the crew to go to the mall or out to eat. And I'm really, really thankful that I've never been that way, because it served me well in life. Because again, like I recognize and I look back even in recent months, like some of the experiences that I've been able to have, they have been when I've been by myself or traveling by myself. And I started to realize like how things would happen organically, and just kind of, reflecting on the fact that, what, I probably would never have gotten to have this type of experience if I was with a crew. Because I think for a lot of folks, like if you're a lot of times what I'll do, if I'm traveling by myself, I may, I'll go out to eat. And a lot of times I may just sit at the bar area and I'll just eat at the bar. I always end up meeting like the most fascinating, interesting people, right? And again, I don't know that I would have those experiences if I was with a crew, because I think it's easier to approach me or a singular person versus, someone maybe being a little intimidated, having to come up to a crowd of like 5 people and what have you. Of course, some folks, they wouldn't mind either way, but again, I do recognize, and I'm thankful for, being able to capture and have some of those experiences, especially ones that have been divine in nature, where maybe, I've been contemplating a new business, right? And so for them to, you know, meet me and come up and maybe they give some encouraging word or what have you. Like I know enough to know that that is a divine encounter. You know, that didn't just happen by happenstance. Okay. And so I really value having those experiences. But I think that, you know, again, in light of made some strides in areas that I have been um, you know, working on for maybe months. And it's like now I'm just in this phase and this process where things are just starting to come to me, the tools and resources, and they're beginning to happen and come with ease. And I'm so thankful for that. But I also am kind of understanding too that I need to take this time while I have it, because I can understand and see in the near future how my schedule will pick up, and I may not have the luxury, because it is time is a luxury, the luxury of being able to spend as much time and energy on some of the things that I have been working on. And so now is the time to perfect those things and to automate as much as I can, so that, you know, as things do begin to grow and expand, I will be in a good place to be able to continue on with them. And so I am excited about that. But you know, I wanted to also share, and I'll do another short video just around like stress, because I know we oftentimes talk about stress, and for most of us, we see on social media and things like that, all of these things around eliminating stress, and that's good to a point. But keep in mind, like sometimes some stress is good when you're growing, right? It's not a bad thing. Like just think about like when you're starting a new exercise routine for the first time. Like the first time I've been doing that too. Like last month I started with Grow with Joe, and so I'm gonna do, you know, some commentary about that as well. But I just love her. I love her energy, and I will tell you what. She gives great workouts that you can do at home in your house. And the first couple workouts, I was so sore. Like, thank God I actually had a chiropractor appointment like set up. That's part of my routine or regimen. And so I needed that because I was so sore, but it was a good sore because I was working muscles that I hadn't used before. Over the spring and summer months, I've started walking. Like I love walking outside. And that is one of the ways for me that I'm able to really just get in shape, get my heart health up, and drop, you know, weight that I want to, is walking. Now, when I walk. I'll walk for like an hour. I'll go out for like an hour and a half. I'll do a 4 or 5 mile walk. I'm not much of a runner, only if I'm being chased, but walking is my thing. It also is, sometimes it's music. I manifest with music, and maybe I'll share some of that. But and it's music that it's my music, it's hip hop music. A lot of times that is how I actually manifest. I actually will put in my earbuds and I'll go leave the house and I'll be gone for an hour, hour and a half, walking, getting in physical shape and getting in mental shape. And a lot of times that's where I see my visions of like the things that I'm going to accomplish, or maybe I get clarity on how I'm going to go about accomplishing some things, and even, you know, getting visions for what I want my future to look like. And that time is so precious to me. And so I was dreading, like here, you know, in the climate that I'm in, we're in the colder months. And so I don't really have a practice of walking outside. And especially for that length of time, it can get pretty cold here. It can get into the 30 degrees or even that much colder, into the negative degree during some periods of time. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to try it. And I love it. It's like a treat for me. So a lot of time, go down to my office and do some work. And so I set a goal. You know, if I can get some of these tasks completed, then my treat to myself is to go and to be able to do one of the workouts that she has. So that's been working out pretty good for me. And to be honest, it's been one of the things that's helped relieve stress for me. Because again, like I said, sometimes our stress comes from growth. It's not always like a bad, or hardship type thing, and you need to be able to go through it, right? To get to the other side or get to your goals and dreams. But that is one of the things that helps me de-stress. Another staple for me for probably the last 4 or 5 years has been integrating like my chiropractor into my routine. And the one that I have here, he's just phenomenal. And like he does the x-rays of your back, and they do these scans, and he's so good that he's able to look at that and create a plan for you. And most of the time you're going to have to go, I think I started out 3 times a week. And then once I started to see some progress, or he started to see, and I could feel, that things were going great, and I was getting some of the correction in my spine that I needed, then he starts to maybe taper you down into a different plan. So now I'm on a plan where I go once, I have one treatment every other week, and that works perfectly for my schedule. In addition to that, I get what's called traction. And like I said, I'll do another video, maybe just kind of talking about that, or trying to describe the process of the traction that I go through. It's neck traction, where it stretches your neck from your back to like lengthen your spine. It is like you get up from that just feeling great. But that, as well as like massages, I get a massage at least monthly. I schedule them out like a month in advance so that they're already on my calendar, and it's not something that I have to like think of or feel a pain and call and schedule. And honestly, having them pre-scheduled in that way has been what's been able to keep me on track for, again, it's a regimen for good health, right? And helping to keep me youthful. And again, that coupled with the chiropractor appointments, that, like, I'm telling you, you talk about even that in and of it, right? And then, of course, like the eating and making sure that you're making some meals at home help you, right? And also the self-development work and books and podcasts. There's so many out there now that have some really good information, and just making sure that you're filling your mind up with that, as well as allowing yourself permission to actually just have some downtime where you're not multitasking and you're not doing something else. And for me, one of my loves is watching movies. I really love dramas, or I love anything with like, CIA, spy, type of plots or what have you. But sometimes I just need that time to just zone out and be entertained. Of course, my mind's always thinking. That's why I think I love the CIA movies, because it's always leaving clues for you to figure out, or to see who gets caught or whatever. But I do. I think that that's important, and I bring that up because I know for me, like there was a period of time, and even with that, we kind of maybe bragged on the fact that, oh, well, I don't watch TV, I don't, and yeah, the reality is I don't really watch a lot of TV, but I do. I think that there's balance in everything. And I think that for some of us that are multitasking, that have the 2 to 3 phones on you at once, plus your tablet and your laptop, and you're just constantly, look, even now, constantly multitasking. You got it all right here with you. It's so important to have that time to just be able to zone out, whether it's just once a week or every other week or what have you. But give yourself that, and give yourself the permission, to be able to just, chill out and not do anything, or not have an appointment to run to. I think that that's so imperative. We've created this whole culture around like this hustle mentality. And yeah, that's good. And I'm all for working towards your goals. But at the same time, I think with the elevation of mindset and the elevation of exposure, you begin to understand and realize that Your mindset needs to transition to being able to allow your money to work for you and to find ways to create more passive income opportunities and find more ways that you're able to grow and have an elevated lifestyle without killing yourself, because that's not the goal here. you know that's the goal. Isn't to win some badge of honor because you worked 16 hours, you were on your feet 16, 18 hours. That's not the goal here. That's not a flex. And I hope that more people will get that. And again, some of that comes from that um, elevation of consciousness, that conscious engineering, because for many of us in our families, we have been taught that we have to work hard. You can't take any time off work, and then even society, especially for certain groups of us. For me, for as an African American, as a Black woman, right? Sometimes I felt like society has put that pressure or that expectation there, right? And that is something that I've had to work through. I have had to work through giving myself permission to have those downtimes. And it has been a struggle. It has, because sometimes you will create work when you're supposed to be having your downtime. And that, again, that comes from, a lot of times that comes from trauma. Again, it's nothing to brag on, right? And you don't know what you don't know until you start allowing yourself to grow and to expand in your consciousness, and really to elevate, and to start meeting individuals that live a little bit differently than you, than have different life experiences where it's normal for them to have the passive income and really, enjoy life, and really take the risk, and live life to the fullest. And so that is, kind of where I am now. Again, with growing in my mindset and my consciousness, and, with where I want to be in life. One of the things that I've been seeing a lot of in this week that isn't quite over yet is the announcement from these different corporations and companies. I talked about this a little bit, I think, on my TikTok page for Edmond Enterprises, for my HR consulting firm, about some of the companies that are they're starting to do some restructuring actions, right? Because we are in a recession. Although for some reason, it's like, folks, there's some people that don't want to widely say it or admit to it, but we're in a recession. And so again, I think that the corporations that are making those changes, they are doing the things that they feel they need to do to be able to put them in a good space, at the end of all of this, or to be able to weather the storms that they see ahead. And so I've been seeing quite a few headlines and things like that around restructuring actions, or where companies are going to be cutting jobs. And I was thinking about, because last night I was working on a blog, and I just shared it this morning on my business pages. And again, I think some of these, like, tips for 2023, the blog is actually 5 key areas of focus for small business owners in 2023. But I think that some of these are applicable to all of us, that are, in the marketplace, that, have jobs and things too, to keep in mind, right? Because as the economy is shifting, it's going to be imperative. And so a couple of the things that stood out to me, I think, for just everyone, is to really get into this digital transformation. There's so much technology now that you need to learn it. For one, it's going to make you that much more marketable. It may even be an opportunity or an avenue for you to create a business, or to provide services to people that have their own businesses, and you can earn some additional income there. Learn how to use this AI technology. This has become really, really huge. So I came across some technology last year, actually writer, and I've been seeing other folks it is phenomenal. It blows my mind. And you talk about being able to use this technology to write for you. I actually used it to help write the blog. And so you talk about being able to cut down on time and just energy and effort, because again, when you look at like, wow, I want to do all these things, but I only have 24 hours in a day. How am I going to get them done unless I'm able to build up this massive team of individuals that I have working for me to do the work? But one of the ways that you can kind of help navigate through that is learning how to use some of this AI technology. Another resource that I've been just falling in love with is Canva. Like, I really love using it to make videos, especially with these YouTube videos or IG posts and Facebook posts. It makes them look so professional and just great. And honestly, I'll tell you a little secret. Like, some of these, even these YouTube videos, some of them I pieced together laying in bed. And so I never would have thought, that with a couple of swipes or dragging and dropping or a couple of clicks, that I would be able to do some of this stuff. And the reality is, if it wasn't that way, I wouldn't have been able to get some of this stuff done, because sometimes I'm just, by the end of the day or even in the morning, I may wake up exhausted. And so again, like, they just the technology makes it so easy, right, to be able to do some of these things. So I think that, for everyone, take some time. And again, even if you have to teach yourself how to do some of these things, go ahead and take the time to learn a new skill so that you're more marketable, even if you are becoming more marketable with your current employer, right? Sometimes it's not always about leaving or jumping ship, but even becoming more marketable with your current employer would be, a great opportunity, especially. But, I just want to say, I'm telling you, I'm excited. I'm still excited about 2023, but I just had to come on because, honey, we are entering 23 with a bang. But I tell you what, I am committed to win. 23 was Jordan's number, so all we can do is win. We have no choice, right? And so I just say, hang in there. Keep your head up. Make sure that you're spiritually grounded and that you are staying committed to your routines and things that you do that help keep you calm and at peace. Whether that's, for me, my prayer time, my meditation time, and just, and just knowing that, again, what may be happening for someone else doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be your future or your destiny. And again, I can't stress enough, and that's why I say it's so important and it's so imperative that you have a relationship with a power greater than or higher than yourself. For me, that's God, right? He guides and directs me and gives me the inspiration to make certain moves, or, whether I should make certain purchases or do certain spends, or even connect to work with certain individuals. And so that has been my saving grace all of my life, especially my adult life. And I know that's going to be different for 2023. And so I am happy again. I wanted to come on and do a live stream, the first live stream for the Lamborghini C channel. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everyone that liked the page, everyone that subscribed to the page. Please keep sharing it. Please keep liking. And, let's go ahead and get those numbers up. I really, really appreciate you. And for any of your business needs, for any of your HR compliance needs, go over to edmond-enterprises.com and check out the products that I have there. I actually have a sale that's going on right now. It's I've bundled together 3 policies that are essential for new and small business owners. It's a policy around the employment relationship, a policy around diversity and inclusion, and also a policy around social media that you need to have in place, and you need to have communicated to any employees or contractors that you have working for your organization. Just, from an employment law perspective, it'll help keep you out of some trouble and head off some things that could happen down the road if someone gets disgruntled. And again, it's all about protecting yourself. I will be coming out with some course programs to be able to work with individuals more directly, and some coaching and talent development, kind of areas for them, just to help them grow as greater leaders, right? But also, I do have a recent book that I wrote that is entitled "A Case for Cultural Competence in Business." Go ahead and check that out. It's been released on ebook, first of all, on the website, and you can get an immediate download for $9.99. It's some really great information. I basically just took information from a course that I created that I go into organizations and train on. Again, we all know and we've heard about diversity and inclusion, but the cultural competence piece really just takes it a step further, and helping us look more introspective into ourselves, and really kind of challenging ourselves around some of those social norms and beliefs, right, that we have that may shape how we view the world. And you already know that is something that really spoke to me, because as I talked about, like the consciousness engineering, like again, it kind of goes hand in hand, right, around kind of the introspective work that you have to do there, and really looking at some of those social norms or those family norms that you've been taught, or things that you've been taught about certain groups of people, and really challenging your thinking around them. And in some cases, becoming more open, right, as you're engaging with folks and even doing business. But yep, go on over to Edmond-enterprises.com and check out the resources there. I love you guys. Again, thank you for stopping by. I'm Lamborghini C, and let's make sure we win in 23. Bye.